Well, first of all, what kind of mythical powers does a sun devil have? We got to consider that.
Now, Terrell, run the road again!
Hey guys! Hey! I'm having a press conference, okay?
Their fat little girlfriends have some obvious advantages. For one thing, their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear.
It's Division I football!
The Big 12.
Here, murals!
All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Hoppy Huddle podcast. I'm Jake, that's Ed, and today we've got week 3 preview.
Ready to go. I'm just running in here, 9 o'clock Wednesday night Eastern Standard Time. I'm running from a field hockey game, running across town, but I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk college football. You ready for week 3?
Oh, I can't wait. This is an exciting week. We got some, it's one of those weeks where it seems like there's not a lot going on the surface, but that's what we thought last week, and last week was insane. And this is how college football usually goes. Usually there's a lot of games going on. You don't see the key marquee matchups ahead of time, but there's going to be some teams that are fighting for their lives against a team they're heavily favored against, and there's probably going to be some upsets this weekend. So I'm excited to talk about it.
There are some interesting matchups. I don't know. I mean, it was hard to beat last weekend. Last weekend was great, but
I don't think it'll beat last weekend. But I mean, you never know.
Yeah, but there's some good matchups, and we even got a couple good matchups Thursday and Friday night. Forget the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't care about Bills Dolphins. Let's talk Arizona State, Texas State Thursday night.
Yeah. I'm not watching.
I know which game I'm watching. It's not.
What college is the Dolphins?
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. So we got games Thursday, Friday night. We got a ranked matchup Friday night. We've got football.
Yeah, the new Fox primetime Friday night slot is now college football.
And this may be one of the better ones we get in the season, I think, looking ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No, good slate, ready to go. And of course, we got all kind. We're starting to get second week of season. You're starting to get injuries. You've got quarterback controversies.
Yeah.
You've got coaches. The seat keeps getting warmer week by week.
You're starting to figure some teams out, get a feel for it, and see what offenses and defenses are looking like, where the weaknesses and strengths are. But I don't know. Where do you want to go to first? What do you want to talk about first?
You run the agenda, man. Let's go. You go. I'm going to talk.
All right. Let's go. I think we'll just go in order. Unless you got any Mr. Newsman. Do you got any college football news for us?
No. And I actually checked this night while I was at the field hockey game, because those games can get so exciting at 1-0.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. Don't tell your sister. But no, nothing I saw earth shattering out there. But let's jump into
I didn't see either. But I think we should just go ahead and start out with the marquee Thursday night matchup, Arizona State, Texas State, the battle of the greatest party schools in America, whether you like, Arizona State or whether you like tubing down the San Marcos River.
That's right.
It is up to you. And, Texas State, they're both young, up-and-coming head coaches running, exciting, innovative offenses. I think it'll be a good game. There is a reason the line's only 1.5. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of my best bets for the week. Texas State plus 1.5. Lock it up. It's legit. It's happening. I believe in G.J. Kinney. He is a legitimate, excellent head coach. And, I think Texas State's going to pull it out. Arizona State had the good win last week, but I think the Bobcats will be too much for the Forks.
Wow, for once we agree on a pick. I agree with you. I think I do.
Really? Wow, that never
happened. Texas State in this one too. I just think the game's at home. I think this is a showcase game for them.
Yeah.
These Sun Belt teams don't get a lot of opportunities to play these Power 4 schools. And when they do, and especially when you've got a Power 4 school like Arizona State, that's not, they're not a top 25 program. They're not great. You got Texas State want to make a name for themselves. I don't think these teams are that far apart.
Yeah.
And I think this is a showcase game for Kenny as well as coach. He wins this game. He's going to jump right, if he's not already there, he's going to jump to the top of a lot of coaching lists. for a bigger position.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say the team that I got a hat for here may be looking for a coach next year. He may be a good fit. Just moving on down the state a little
I don't
bit
know.
there. So, no,
Yeah,
I definitely have. I think Texas State. I think they should win this game.
Yeah, and Texas State, looking to see, they're trying to compete for that Group of 5 playoff spot.
This would be a game you get a.
This would be a huge win over a Power 5 team. Couple that with their win over UTSA last week, where they destroyed the Roadrunners.
It's a different UTSA issue.
It is, but it's like brand-wise,
yeah.
it's still a good win for the playoff. And so
tell me who
they run the table.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their
who's
look at their
keeping them out?
schedule. I mean, granted, it's a Sun Belt. You could slip up in any week. They win this game. There's not a team on their schedule they can't beat. They don't play JMU in there. I mean, I guess they're getting, who's really the favorite in the Sun Belt? I mean, I got to even look at the betting favorites. Is it Georgia Southern, I guess, or
I guess I'm not.
Is it
I'm not
Marshall
sure,
or App? I guess App State. I guess it's really
it'd be App State.
App State is on App State is on their schedule. So I mean, you could, and I don't know. I'm sorry, Sun Belt fans. I don't know the divisions, how that works there. But if App State's on your schedule,
the only conference still with division.
Yeah. So could you see a situation where Texas State runs the table, and then they're facing an App State team, for, maybe a spot, for that the Group of 5 playoff spot? Maybe this is a big game for Texas State.
Yeah, depending on what shakes out around the rest of the country.
And I like Arizona State got a win last week, but who are we kidding here? It's Mississippi State. They're barely a group Power 4 school.
Yeah. They're
exactly
Mississippi State. Where do you want to go? What do you want to talk about next? Want to
let's
talk
talk
about
about the Friday night game. I know Friday night is for high school football. We don't have our high school doesn't have a home team this week, so I don't care. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to settling down and watching that game. Arizona at Kansas State.
It is the Wildcat Bowl. Who will be the real Wildcat? That is the question. One of them says bear down for some reason. That's Arizona, even though they're Wildcats. Don't ask me. They've only been in my conference for like a month now. But, I mean, these are Arizona State. Arizona has got Noah Fafita and Tet McMillan, quarterback and receiver. And Kansas State has got, loaded defensive back or loaded offensive backfield, good running backs, good offensive line. This is going to be a good game, I think. Although Kansas State is favored, they did kind of struggle last week.
They did. They barely won that game. I'm not sure they should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. I think the line, what's the line? Kansas State is -7.5, which
it's -7.5.
That's a tough line
at some books.
What Kansas State team are we going to get? First of all, I've been disappointed defensively. I thought that was going to be the strength of this team. They haven't looked very good. Tulane didn't come back with a lot of firepower, and they seem to score pretty well against it. Avery Johnson, I think you and I talked about it early this season. He's clearly can run the ball. That's his strength. But can they get enough out of him in the passing game? I don't think he's thrown the ball very few times down the middle of the field. I think a lot of stuff is on the outside. Is Arizona going to be the team that really going to push him on that? Maybe not on a Friday night. Arizona, which team are we going to see? The team that blew away Broncos New Mexico team, or the team that struggled with FCS Northern Arizona? Which one?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that New Mexico team says more about New Mexico than it does about Arizona, because their defense has been legitimately basically awful for 2 straight weeks, which is why that's coming up. This is informing one of my betting picks this week. But I actually think Arizona has a decent chance to win this game, because if you watch the Tulane game against Kansas State's secondary was not locking anybody down. And Arizona, if Ted McMillan gets going, look out.
Yeah.
So
I think this is going to be a close game.
I'm not picking it. I'm not picking it. I'm not betting on this game because it's too much of a crapshoot. But I would not be shocked if Arizona ended up winning.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
the
shocked
game.
either. I think Kansas State, and I believe if we go back to our picks, I think I picked Kansas State to win the Big 12, and I'll have to go back and look at it. And I've just been. Yeah, and I just think I was wrong on their defense. I just thought they'd be better defensively. I wasn't worried about the offense. I knew what the offense was going to be. I thought it was defensively this team be better, and I thought Avery Johnson. I was concerned Avery Johnson. I was hoping for the better Avery Johnson. So far, I haven't seen it after 2 weeks. And if he doesn't get better,
But I mean, you never know. Like he could flat.
Exactly.
It
Maybe
could
this
happen,
is the week
you know?
it looks better. But I think, again, I'm not going to bet this one. My guess is I would probably lay the point. I would probably take Arizona on the points if I was really concerned. I don't have a feel
Yeah, if I had to
of a
lean, I
but
would.
it's not a
I-
strong game.
yeah.
But I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to watching it Friday night.
It will. It will. Also, little nod to UNLV Kansas on Friday night, which, you know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
no,
that's Friday. No, that's Friday
Sunday.
night.
That is Friday night. Yeah, no, that's Friday night. Yeah. If you think there's going to be offense in that game,
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think they struggled. Kansas struggled last week.
UNLV's defense is.
Well, it's a different group there. But
Yeah.
you better not take
I don't know,
UNLV lightly.
but-
Kansas needs to win this one. Put it away.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, where do you want to go on?
Well, let's talk about the big noon game that the Fox is going to broadcast. Let's talk about Alabama at Wisconsin.
Alabama, Wisconsin.
Hey,
All right, Alabama going to Wisconsin. You know, it warms my heart to see SEC teams travel to the Big Ten, even if it is to play a utterly horrible Wisconsin.
even though it is September and it still feels like summertime. Do that
Yeah.
in November.
Well, I mean,
when you're instead of playing Mercer.
they have conference games. They have conference
Oh,
games
really?
in November, so you can't.
I don't
you
think
can't really.
third-
Well, actually, no, they have Cupcake Week, but yeah, I digress. I do appreciate that the SEC is branching out a little bit for the SEC. Okay, baby steps here. I think this is where Alabama just kind of, I think, gets revenge, in my opinion. I am taking Alabama minus the points.
Revenge over what?
That is a bet.
Revenge
What?
over what? Wisconsin hadn't beat them ever.
No. This is their, like, Clemson this week. This is their exercising
Yeah.
the demons game. Like, they are mad about the way, you know, if you don't think they're mad with the way people have been talking about Alabama in the media this week, they're mad.
Yeah.
Like, people down in Alabama are furious. And I think Alabama is going to take it out on Wisconsin to just kind of like, all right, guys, we're still Alabama. We still have, like, the number 2 roster in America. Like, we're still Alabama. I think Alabama is going to blow them out of the water, and it won't even be close. They're going to be jumping around to a half-empty
Yeah,
stadium.
this is. I mean, this on paper looks like a big game because it's Wisconsin, and
Yeah, but it's not Wisconsin.
That
Like,
can't score, and Tyler Van Dyke is
can't.
not a good quarterback. This is not. I mean, Alabama can bring their B- game and probably still score 30 and win this game. The line.
Van Dyke gets you like 2 picks minimum against
It's
any good
16 and a
defense.
half is on the point spread, and I'm thinking, man, I would think that I'd lay those points any day of the week. Alabama's going to kill them. It's a,
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to
agree.
be close. And I mean, I think you're right. Give them credit for trying to schedule it. And I think Alabama needs to figure out some of their issues. They figure out some of the problems. I think Alabama's biggest concerns is in the defensive backfield. They got to figure that out because
they're second.
I mean, I know they're not playing UCF, and I don't think Wisconsin's going to take them on. But you better believe when they play Georgia and a couple other teams, they're going to abuse the way those defensive backs. There were guys running wide open at UCF. UCF could get the ball to, but you go back and look at it. That's not a strength of Bama, and that's concerning when you go into. You got to face LSU.
They don't have the corners.
No.
Like,
And I mean, LSU, I may not love LSU this year, but they can throw the ball. Georgia's going to take advantage of that. I mean, go down the list. They're going to face some teams. So Bama's got to get better if they're going to be real competitive. Tennessee will crush them in the third week of October at this. But I think Alabama wins this game. Big noon. I mean, in that other window, I think there's a couple other better games I'd like to watch at noon.
Yeah, like LSU, South Carolina.
Yeah.
How about that?
Isn't that where game day's going?
I believe so, yeah. Shocker, Big Noon goes to the Big Ten game, and game day goes to the SEC game.
Yeah. And I think Josh Pate's whole new Saturday tour, I think, is going to be South Carolina, I believe. Yeah. So
okay. Cool.
Yeah, if you don't listen to Josh Pate's podcast, you're missing out. Listen to that, boys and girls.
Yes, absolutely.
But next, listen to him now.
Yeah, so for me this week, the S in SEC stands for spread, as in they're covering it. And so I actually have four SEC teams in my bets this week. I already went over Bama, and I've also got LSU covering against South Carolina.
I mean,
it's -7 or 6.5, depending on the book.
Yeah.
And I think that South Carolina beating up on Kentucky just shows you how bad Kentucky is. I don't think it's like a grand, entrance of South Carolina's excellence. I think the LSU team that played against USC, like if they bring that offense, not the one that they brought against Nichols, if they bring the USC offense against South Carolina, against the other USC, they'll outscore them easily.
Yeah, South Carolina has the best rush rate in the country as far as I think sacks, something along that, or some stat that I heard.
Yeah, but Kentucky's
And
line was
LSU is one
awful.
of the best offensive lines. So this will be a real interesting matchup. I
Yeah.
don't think South Carolina is going to be able to get the pressure like they did against Kentucky, which is really what changed that game because Kentucky couldn't stop them. And I don't remember the guy's name. The defensive end for South Carolina is really good.
Yeah, he's
and I
good.
just don't remember his name. I didn't get a chance to.
South Carolina every 6 years just churns out a top 5 draft
This
pick
guy-
at defensive end. I
this
don't know
guy
how they
does.
do it.
So, for me, LSU's going to get their points. I mean, so they're not going to stop Nussmeier, but so
Yeah.
much. Then you got to go, how's South Carolina going to score? The running game hadn't really gotten on track that well. I mean, Sellers, okay. I mean, I just don't see South Carolina putting enough points. This is a game. This is a trap game, though. I think LSU's going to win and probably cover. But I'll say this: that's a tough place to go. Okay, it's a noon
It
kickoff.
is, yeah.
It's the national game. That place will be rocking. And then if LSU, which is a central time zone, comes in and those guys are a little sleepy on a noon kickoff, and South Carolina can get a little momentum, you get a turnover. I mean, we've seen stranger things happen before. But
Yeah.
I'm going to count on the fact that Shane Beamer has never won any important game in the SEC ever. He just hasn't. I told you he should be on the hot seat. Go find me a win. When I heard this day, I'm going to give credit to where it's due. Bud Elliott on cover 3 went through this. Go find me a win while Shane Beamer's coach where he hasn't won a team that's either been an interim coach, a coach that's on his way out, or the team's given up on him. You can't find it.
Yeah, I'd push back a little bit and say that's true, but like also find me a good win South Carolina's had in the last 15 years. I think it's the program. I don't think it's necessarily the coach. South Carolina is Mississippi State, but they think they're up.
That's a great way to put it, Jake, because at least Mississippi State knows they're Mississippi State.
Yeah, they don't expect 8 wins with a Bama upset every year, which is what Auburn expects. Like South Carolina should not be expecting 8 wins in the SEC every year, and that's kind of what they think they are expecting. And so I don't necessarily blame Shane Beamer for the fact that the program just has a ceiling. But you are right. Like he hasn't done anything that just drastically goes over the
They
top.
should go back to
program.
the
It's just-
ACC. I think they'd have a better shot. They'd probably actually be competitive.
Yeah, them and Clemson, which
Yeah,
is
exactly. And then they'd probably win 8 games a year, maybe 9, go to a bowl, and their fans would be happy. They'd probably be pretty good at basketball too. They're just Vilman, Arkansas. Arkansas should go back to the Big 12. Arkansas would be a competitive team in the Big 12 every year. They're just those teams are in the wrong conference if they think they're going to compete with the Auburns, the Georgias, the Alabamas, Florida,
60
LSU,
mil a year will do that.
Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, we just listed, I'm saying in 10 seconds, 9 or 8 teams that are going to be better than South Carolina easily. And that's not when Kentucky's decent.
Yeah.
No man.
And that's with them recruiting like top 20 classes.
Yeah. So this game, again, I think LSU wins this game. But again, there is a scenario where you get some momentum, you get some turnovers. LSU, the other thing got to remember with LSU, and we talked about this in the preview, there's no Jaden Daniels anymore. Now John Emery's out. Where's their running game? So, again, I don't think they're going to shut down Nussmeier, but I just don't know there's a running game for LSU, so it makes them a little one-dimensional.
Yeah.
So,
all right, where do you want to go next?
The other ranked matchup in the day is also in the 12 o'clock.
Yeah. That's which one is it?
That's
That
Boston,
is
ACC, SEC, Boston College at Missouri.
Oh yeah, Boston College. I forgot about that. Yeah. So my thoughts on Boston College at Missouri is Missouri has Luther Burden. That's my thoughts.
Great break. Well, Missouri hasn't even given up a point this year.
Yeah. No, their defense is great, but like you have Luther Burden, who, in my opinion, has arguably been just as good a receiver as Travis Hunter, but without all of the coverage.
Well, if Missouri continues to perform well, he'll get the coverage.
He will get the coverage. Yeah, he's just that. He's next level. He's what Jeremiah Smith could be in next year probably.
Well,
next year.
Jeremiah Smith
next year.
This year.
But like all these freshman receivers that are wowing you, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, Coleman at Auburn, right?
Coleman's not getting as many touches as those other guys.
But Luther Burden is them, but like 2 years ahead. Like he's at next level. Now, the other side of that is that Boston College has Bill O'Brien, so I don't ever trust him.
My friend Sloan said you better eat your words on Bill O'Brien. He's proved you wrong so already.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you surprised
true.
This line is 16.5? This is a ranked matchup.
No, it should be higher. That's why I'm taking Missouri.
Well, I mean,
Boston College has a fun, exciting quarterback, but their defense is just pretty mediocre. I mean, their front seven's okay. It's decent.
I think Castellanos is better than he's a Jag plus. I think he can make things interesting. I want to see. I mean, I think they're going to win too. They'll probably cover. But for me, what I want to watch this game is I want to see, now that Missouri's got probably a team of better talent, how do they perform? Because we've listened all offseason how this team, this is Missouri's shot. This is their chance. This is their best team in a long time. How are they going to perform when the competition's a little better? Because you know what? You better win this one. You better be impressive because the schedule gets harder. And if you want to be in that playoff position down the road, I think that's what Missouri probably desires to be. I don't think we think they're going to win the SEC. Yeah. But if you want to be in that playoff shot, you better win this game impressively. You better make people believe you're a high caliber SEC team.
Yeah, I
It'll
agree.
Be a fun matchup. Those are games I'm interested in. Memphis, Florida State is also on at that time. Take the over though. I will tell you.
Really?
Absolutely. These defenses, neither one are going to be very good. I think against the matchups. I think I would take the over in that game. That's my pick of the.
Memphis is not a bad team.
No, and that's why I think they're going to score in Florida State. But then I think vice versa. I don't think Memphis is very good defensively, and I think even Florida State's going to score. And I think Florida State's going to get back to running the ball more this week. I think they'll just overmatch them. And I think the over under was pretty attractive. I thought for this game. What was it?
It's 52.5, right?
52. Yeah, which I think's pretty low when you got teams with questionable defenses. So I think if I was.
You think any chance you think Memphis comes up with this one?
No. If it does, I'll get a red Solo cup and I'll stop.
Don't finish.
I'll get a red Solo cup and drink some water out of it. How about that? Okay.
Yeah.
I found that guy on the internet. He deleted all his accounts.
No, he's gone. He said he had a burner account, another burner in a Florida State group chat, and he said he'll be back next season.
No. Listen, Florida State loses. They may lose this team for the season. This could get ugly.
Yeah, they can't lose this. Like, I like Norvell, but if they lose this, like, dude, he could be on his way out by the end of next year. No, not this year, but like it could be the domino. If
I don't think so. I think what happens if they lose this game, DJU's getting benched. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna go to Brock Glenn because they can't keep. Because if they lose, it's probably gonna be because of the offensive game. It would be.
Yeah, but if they lose this game, who says they're not going to lose more games? Like that could be.
It could be, but you can't lose. You don't want to lose the team. You got to have to make a change, and the best change to make is to change the QB. And I think Glenn was a highly rated prospect coming out. I think DJ. We know what DJ is. You're gonna have to move him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So we've
I think we hit most of the noon window. I mean, a couple other.
Most of the noon window. Okay, where else we want to go?
I guess go to the 3:30 game, 34 o'clock window.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got some good games here. We've got a real spicy matchup in Oklahoma, Tulane. You would think this would not be a hard pick because Tulane should get destroyed by Oklahoma. But no, we will get to UVA, Maryland. We'll get to it. Don't worry.
Who said somebody in the chat?
But yeah. Somebody in the chat said we will get to UVA, Maryland, the rivalry renewed. But so Oklahoma Tulane is interesting because Oklahoma was not very good last week and Tulane was very good last week. And Oklahoma has an insanely tough schedule, and they need this win if they want a chance to go bowling. And I can't believe that's a sentence I just said. Oklahoma needs this win to go bowling because have you looked at the second half of their schedule? They play every good team in the SEC.
Yeah.
Literally every good team. So they're very talented, but if they don't figure it out on offense quick, they're going to be in trouble. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they do on offense this week as kind of a preview
I think they'll
going
be okay
into the
in this
SEC
one. I think the game that's going to determine bowling is going to be the Auburn-Oklahoma game in 2 weeks. That's going to determine bowling for both teams, I think.
Yeah. All right. We also got Notre Dame, Purdue. Any thoughts?
Man, I mean, yeah, Purdue's not good. Notre Dame,
they're not.
But
they're
can Notre Dame lose? If you lost to Northern Illinois, can you lose to Purdue? Maybe, but I don't think so. I can't imagine. I mean,
I doubt it.
We talk about all the hot seat candidates. If they lose at Purdue, then you might as well fire Freeman now because that's unacceptable.
They did bounce back
now,
after losing to Marshall.
Riley Leonard's hurt. Now, I don't know what extent.
Is there?
Well, he's got that injury in the shoulder, and I don't know what it's going to do from how he's going to throw the ball. I'm not even sure is he going to play. That's the only news I didn't check on when I was out.
Okay. Yeah, there was no news on that. I was looking, but nothing. But I think nothing came out.
Can they still run the ball, play defense, and still beat Purdue? Probably.
Okay. All right.
Well, we got
what else we got in the 3:30 window? Yeah, we got rivalry. This is the new rivalry week apparently, week 3, because all the conferences have shifted. So we've got the Backyard Brawl, which is a fantastic rivalry. I'm so glad they renewed it. The last two games, right, of this have been just fantastic games both ways. Like, I think that I have no idea who's going to win. It's to toss a coin. Like, I got nothing for you. I think probably
See,
Pitt,
I'm different from you there. I think West Virginia's a better team than Pitt. I know Pitt beat Cincy last week, but I think West Virginia's the better overall team. But it's basically toss-up. It's a field goal. It's at Pitt. I think in this kind of battle, anybody can win. I wouldn't bet this one if you're out there.
I agree.
We've got Oregon State. That's a saucy one too, I would think. Now here's I made the comment back on our original podcast when we talked about the group of 5, and I said don't count out Oregon State for that group of 5, maybe. Now I don't know how they would get it because I guess technically don't you have to be a group of 5 champion, or is it that?
It doesn't say group of 5 champions. It says the top 5 champions get in.
Could they be considered a champion?
They are in the Pac-12.
So Pac-2 is a conference.
Yeah, it's cool. It's still called the Pac-12, but yes. So technically, if they win out and beat Washington State and beat Oregon, they would have the best resume, and they would be a power conference. They would be a champion conference, not a power conference.
They still got Cal on their schedule. They've got Washington State and Boise.
A bunch of Mountain West teams.
So there's some teams at the end. But the reason I'm saying that is that Oregon team we've seen the last 2 weeks
could absolutely
lose to this team. I'm not saying they will. Oregon State's they need to get healthy on the offensive line. If they get that, this is not the same Oregon team that we're going to see in November. I mean, this is a team that's going to get better. But are they going to fall here? Probably not. But it's a rivalry game, and you got a team that doesn't like them. They feel like now they've been kicked out of the conference. Who knows what can happen. I think Oregon's going to win, but I just think this might be fun to tune over. This could be one of those games that sneaks up on us a little bit in the third quarter going, hey, what's going on here? So, and that will be your 3:30 game on Fox.
Yeah, we also got the Apple Cup, Wazoo, Washington. And let me tell you, Wazoo's been kind of impressing me a little on the down low here. So I think they've, the last 20 years, Washington has owned this rivalry, but I wouldn't count out the Cougars. I would not.
No, this could be a little interesting. Washington, I was thinking about this the other day. Washington's the one team I have not really got my eyes on much yet this year, and that's, because it's so far away, and I just haven't watched any of their games. But this was on Peacock at 3:30. I may watch a little of theirs, but I don't have a strong feel for them just because I haven't seen them.
I have no idea with this one either. No idea.
The big one we've got that we have to spend a few minutes on.
Texas A&M at Florida.
This is So tell me your thoughts before I've been thinking about this one a lot.
So my thoughts are the two teams in two completely different situations. And they're not that far apart in playing levels so far. A&M has been better. There's a reason the line is
Have
only
they
3.5,
been better?
and that's because
Who did they played McNeese State last week? Wegman only threw 14 passes.
I guess.
I mean, you and
So
me and a couple
look,
of your other
okay, they
partners
played
probably
better
beat
against
McNeese
Notre
State.
Dame than Florida did against Miami.
But I think that benchmark of Miami is going to look at the end of the year look like that was a top 5 program.
Maybe. I don't know. The line's only 3.5 for a reason. It's Elko's first year. It may be Napier's last year. It's kind of like two ships passing, two ships passing each other in opposite directions. Yeah. Like, I think Elko is on the way up, and I think Napier is on the way down. And I don't really know. I don't trust Florida's defense or their skill players, and I don't trust A&M's quarterback. So it's kind of like, what do you go with? I guess I go with Florida at home, but like I could very easily see A&M beating them and kind of nailing the coffin of Billy Napier if he loses next week.
I mean, if you tell me who gets the most snaps for Florida, I think I can tell you who wins the game.
It was Samford, Dad.
It was
Samford.
But
okay.
Put me on the DJ Lagway train. Woo, woo, let's go. All aboard, man. I'm on the hype train.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're spot on. Here's the challenge. And I mean, I've listened to a few podcasts and they're all debating this back and forth, and you get all kinds of mixed opinions. But I think it goes down to this. If you're Billy Napier, you play Graham Mertz because you think you're going to win and you lose, you're toast. You play DJ Lagway and you lose, at least you're giving yourself a fighting chance to maybe save your job because you're getting him some in the game. I mean, Mertz, there's no.
I think the only thing that saves his job is winning. So you just play whoever you think. You play whoever you think is going to win.
You cannot look at the schedule. They'll beat Mississippi State because that's a Samford team. Let's say they can beat UCF at home. I know.
Dude, I'm telling you, UCF's good this year.
But we also watched KJ Jefferson that first night they played. He's not. He's not all there.
He can't throw.
And then they're going to lose to Tennessee. So then you get Kentucky. Kentucky's just a lot worse than I thought they were. So I mean, there's a conceivable scenario they win this game, they could be 5-2, going into a terrible schedule on the back end. But on the back end, you still don't know. Is Florida State now, which we thought was a loss, maybe that's a win. So could they get? I mean, there's a path they could be 1-11.
There's a path to 6
wins here, but this has to be one of those 6.
Yeah, this is got.
And then you start to lose. I mean, if they start getting behind in this game, the fans are going to turn. I mean, I'll flip on the message boards Saturday afternoon at 4:00, and they'll already be screaming for Urban Meyer to take over, Steve Spurrier to come back and call plays. So this thing could go south either quickly.
Yeah.
I do think the difference is Connor Wegman just is underimpressed. I mean, he just hasn't looked good. I think the defense for Texas A&M will be fine, but I probably think these teams are pretty equal footing, and I'm going to give the advantage to Florida. I think they just need it. They need it more than Texas A&M.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe Lagway will really ball out and put on a job application of a performance to Texas A&M.
I think so. I mean, to me, if Lagway
because maybe he'll be there next year.
Well, that's some people think that's where he'll be their quarterback. And I think if you let Lagway go, you're going to take some hits, but I also think he can make more plays and make more throws. And I mean, team, if this team were better built, I think Graham Mertz could be a good quarterback. But when you don't have a lot of talent, especially like you said, the skill positions, you need a playmaker quarterback. And there's only one playmaker quarterback, and that's DJ.
Yeah.
So
all right. We've covered Oregon State, Texas. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else in that window really. A lot of
not really in the 3:30 window.
Out some of their FCS or Group of 5 opponents.
Yeah, we've got just a little dash of Virginia Tech ODU. Keep an eye on that one if close in the second half.
I mean, ODU hasn't looked good yet this year. Do you think they?
No, but wouldn't it be
hilarious?
ODU?
You never know.
Yeah, wouldn't it be hilarious?
That would be so great. I would love that.
Yeah.
But we've got does Ole Miss have the curse of the CW on them? They're playing Wake Forest on the CW. Do they get the CW curse?
Yeah, they'll kill it. Wake Forest is awful.
Well,
Wake Forest
if Calandria
is awful.
can throw that much against Wake Forest, imagine what Jackson.
Wake Forest is
or
really
Virginia
bad.
beat them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my point.
Ole Miss will score 50 or 60 against them, I'm sure. Then we get to the night window, and I thought there was some interesting games in the night window. We get a look at we get to see UTSA of Texas. I don't think that's going to be a great matchup, but I think the first good matchup is not a ranked matchup, but it's two interesting teams: Big 12, UCF, and TCU.
Yeah, UCF,
what
TCU.
Do you think, Mr. Big 12?
And so I've been following the UCF TCU Twitter beef all week, and it's been hilarious, I have to say. UCF discovering the TCU burner army. But I will say, think that TCU's transfers along the defensive line did not turn out as good as they hoped. This was something we were kind of looking at the offseason. Now, like, are they going to be good or not? We don't know. Like, will they mesh? Little unclear. I think it's a little early, but I think it maybe they get better as the season goes on, but the TCU's defensive line has not been fantastic so far. And if you need anything to stop Gus Miles on offense, you need an elite defensive line, because he will trick play you and run the ball up your throat. And if you're not solid along the front seven, you're going to be in trouble. And yes, KJ Jefferson can't really throw the ball, but no, with the Gus Miles on offense, that doesn't really matter. So I think UCF wins, and I think UCF kind of vaults themselves into into that conversation for maybe up there with Kansas State or Oklahoma State, who have struggled in the Big 12 championship game race.
Yeah, I think this is one that UCF has to win this one if they want to be a serious contender. You can't lose.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. I don't have a feel for this. I need to see KJ Jefferson win one of these games in a tough spot. I mean, we know what he's capable of athletically, but can he go on the road in a conference game and lead a team? I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with what I've seen so far. So we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. I would like to throw out. So I am taking a 7:30 game as a betting pick. I am taking Auburn minus 28.5 or minus 28. And yeah, I know it's kind of gutsy, but hear me out. New Mexico State or New Mexico's defense is
that's Bronco
just atrocious.
Mendenhall's defense.
Look, I like Broncos much as the next UVA fan, but New Mexico's defense is just horrible. I think Auburn, Hugh Freeze, they put up a lot of points on whoever they played in week 1. I don't remember.
It was Alabama A&M. I mean, that was
yeah, right. So, nobody. New Mexico is nobody. Like, they will put up a lot of points, and I think 28 is not enough points. I think Auburn wins by 30, 35 maybe. They just score a lot of points, kind of like, hey, look, we're not that bad. If it's close at all, then boy, that's not going to be a fun season for Auburn. But yeah, so I'm taking Auburn minus 28 as one of my bets. And I got 2 more late night picks.
I've got a good one late night.
The first one is going to be in a in-state rivalry in Colorado.
Where are you going?
Colorado versus Colorado State.
This game.
I think we might be fighting again, because give me Colorado State.
They might be the worst team out there. Their defense is horrible.
You know who's the worst team out there? Colorado.
I'm laying the point.
I'm
Colorado. Laying the 7.5. No way.
Colorado. Oh my God. Colorado has no offensive line. Literally zero. Like FCS level offensive line play.
I'm going to press the bet button right now in Colorado.
All right. I've already bet it. So yes, I do hate Coach Fry. I don't actually hate Coach Fry. I just hate that the way he's constructed his team, because he's not a good coach, and he's terrible in-game coach. He doesn't recruit, and he has the coaching along the offensive and defensive lines of scrimmage has just been horrible. They can't block me. Like, they couldn't block me if I was rushing the passer. Nebraska rushed 3 and got consistent pressure on them. Yeah, it's gonna. It's not. Colorado State plus
this is their victory. They're gonna get it. I'm telling you. No, you are so wrong.
There's a reason I went under on Colorado's win total.
Well, you're right. I'm screwed on that one, but
yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna differ on that one. So our chat says Hoppy hates Coach Prime, and then I thought, well, no, I don't. I think he's talking about you, not me. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to another night game. Let's get to the Maryland-Virginia game with those cowards that left the ACC
the Chesapeake Bay with the traitors that left the
Against
ACC.
the
How
fighting
dare
Anthony
they?
Calandrias.
Fighting AC electric current Anthony Calandria. Will he throw 5 touchdowns or 5 picks? Who's to say?
They're trying. I've seen all the UVA Twitter stuff, and they're trying to they're getting it all. Everybody dressed in blue, and they think it's going to be a big crowd. And let me just tell you what, they're getting ready to get smashed in the mouth by a Big Ten team.
I agree. Unfortunately, I agree. I love UVA. I'm born and raised. I bleed orange and blue. Grew up going to UVA games, and they're gonna lose. It's gonna be sad.
I know.
It's a good thing they renewed this rivalry for 4 more years, because this isn't the year to
I
win
don't
it.
think Maryland's that good a team. I'm sorry in the chat.
Maryland's not good. That's the point.
Yeah, Maryland's I agree with you in the chat. Maryland's secondary has looked rough, but
that is the chance that Virginia could have. If Calandria is just running around, balling out, and he's good Calandria against Maryland's secondary, UVA could win in a shootout.
Yes, you're right, and I agree with it. Like the Maryland secondaries looked rough, so that's the one thing. But who are we talking about here? Tony Elliott coaches scared. I'm sorry, but he was coaching scared last week. I watched that game. He doesn't coach to win.
Yeah,
they won that game because it was Wake. Okay, and Wake basically handed them the game. When you face better teams with better coaches, and let's say for example for a second that Maryland and UVA have equivalent rosters, which I don't believe they do. The deficiency there is on the coaching side. I don't trust them. So, and I do think Maryland's roster is better. So, you can't. I don't know what the line is on this game. Can you see what it is? I didn't even see.
Yeah, it's Maryland minus 2.5.
I'll give those points. Listen, it's going to kill me to watch it, but and I'll be rooting for my Who's, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Maryland consistently recruits top 40 classes. UVA hasn't been inside 50 in 3 years.
So, yeah, sorry. I think it's funny to watch all the UVA fans in this area. I mean, you're so excited about 2-0 start. And 2-0 start's nice, but you think there's like, hey, maybe we can get to a bowl. I'm like, the only bowl they're getting out for the cabinet for the cereal. So, I mean.
Yeah, they're going to be
no bowl.
Not going to a bowl.
So, anyway, look at the Turtles. Yeah, we'll see. So, Maryland, listen, just because you're not in the Big Ten East anymore, I've seen that schedule. It doesn't get any easier. I mean, it gets a lot harder from UVA. Hey, what about, let's switch gears in that window. We got a lot of games that I just find interesting. What about your Baylor Bears? The hat here, buddy. What do you think? The Air Force should be a winnable game.
Air Force is very bad this year.
Yes.
Which is why Baylor is favored by 15.
Is that what it's? I haven't even looked at that one.
15.5. I would not bet Baylor minus 15.5 versus a high school team.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm not betting Baylor here. I think we should be able to win, but I just don't know. Like, Air Force's one strength on their team is run defense. They do have like a top 20 run defense. You know what Baylor's weakness is? Throwing the dang ball.
Yeah, there's another team that
So there's a scenario where Baylor does lose this game, and it makes me really nervous because I don't really know, like, Spavital, that's offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital's play calling tendencies down yet. So I kind of don't know how he's going to react to a team that's really good at run blocking, but doesn't like massively out-talent them like Utah does. So I think Baylor should win. I really hope they win, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they should win this game. I don't know whether they score a lot. Watching the Utah game, still not convinced about Daquan Finn yet. I'm not sure if it's just.
I'm convinced he's terrible.
Well, let's see. Again, we're going to get to week 3. This is week 3. Once we get past this week, then we're 25% of the way through the season. I think we're going to start to figure out who these teams are, and we'll have a better sense. I mean, give me 3 games, and then I think then you're telling me a little bit about who you really are as a team. And goes by too fast.
I agree.
All right. That's about it. I think
got anything else?
Next couple of weeks, we'll be able to hand out, talk about our first month of the season and talk about who our favorites are, our surprises, who our biggest disappointments are.
Yeah. So just to review, Here are my betting picks. Auburn minus 28.5. Texas State plus 1.5. Middle Tennessee State, which we did not mention, but I'm taking Middle Tennessee State plus 7.5. Mizzou minus 16.5. Colorado State plus 7.5.
Ignore his Colorado State pick, so.
LSU minus 6.5 and Bama minus 16. We went 3-1 last week, so we're spraying the board a little bit more and see if we can get over 500 for the year.
All right. Well, good deal. We will do a reaction show, I believe. What night, Jake? You want to do it Sunday night?
Yeah, honestly, we could probably do Saturday night.
There's no
if
real
you want.
late game. I mean, these games are at 8. I can.
Yeah.
There's 2 10:30 games, but we can do it at the end after the end of the 8 o'clock games. As we're crying in the 7:30, 8 o'clock hour. You watching Baylor lose to Air Force, me watching UVA lose. But yeah, maybe we'll do it Saturday night. We'll talk about it, but we'll post it up on the Instagram, the time, let people know, and then we'll be back on our normal schedule. And looking forward to it. And then pretty soon here, we may be doing some reaction shows on the road. We're going to take this. Listen, nobody's paying us, but we're going to take this show on the road anyway.
We're going to take this show
on
the road.
College football fans, we're not going to tell you where we're going, but we're going places.
We are going places. Just to let you all know, we are now streaming live on X. We have got the X live stream working, aka Twitter. So thank you to our viewers on X, on Twitter. We've had a couple of them actually, even though the view count is not showing up in my streaming software. So make sure, follow me on Twitter at RealHopster. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow and like on Spotify. Follow on Twitch. Do all the things in all the places and give us lots of engagement so that more people can hear about how amazing
2 regular
we are
guys
at college
talking football who have no connections to anyone or anywhere.
Yeah. I have a cord connected to my computer. That's my connection. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.